Alright. Welcome back to Metal Heroes Review, episode number 39. Those of you curious, though, why wasn't there a review of this yesterday? Well, because I went to Comic Con yesterday. That was simply the reason for it. And I had no time to do it. So, that was the reason for it. So, this one, it's going to be reviewing two episodes of this series, episode 30 and 39, and the second and final movie released for this particular series. Also, when it comes to movies, the next time we talk about a movie will be the first of 5 straight movies I'll watch right after I wrap up the series, which I'll talk about that when I get to the final episode. In these 2 episodes in particular, so mostly put in the case of episode 38, it's like, oh, we have this whole thing with this episode is that where this girl wants to convert to Cinderella, and it's like a version of like a movie. It's a weird opening, this one. So, and the mother is like, this wasn't the script. We don't exactly have to follow the script, just basically as long as they follow the exact letter. That's kind of what they're saying here, but it's almost like they're ignoring the script. That's mostly what exactly what's going on here. Yeah. So, the whole thing is her becoming a version of Cinderella, and become an idol. It's like basically that for this episode, it's like they plan for one girl to become famous via their evil ways, and that's really it. And by the end of the episode, and it seems as though Shaider, he is like a guest star in his own episode, this one. Where like this little girl takes the whole episode. They say she's not pretty, even though I don't think that's like that. And plus, she's acting like Cinderella when she's a little girl. It makes no sense. Like, I get the fact they're trying to do a Japanese version of Cinderella. Fine. Couldn't they, I don't know, cast an actress who's older than this child? Which makes absolutely no freaking sense at all. The fact they would do this. Yeah, seriously, they would do this for some reason. Almost seems as though that this episode was what I put together very last minute. Nothing really forward for this one per se, but you can definitely tell this is just a filler. 39 is like more brainwashing. Now the episode starts out with like, oh, we have Priest Poe begging Kabuki for a monster and grants him a monster to do stuff. There's not really a lot going on with episode 39 per se. Not really, no. It's like watching these 2 episodes. It's like, wow. It's like they really wanted to stretch out the filler with this one. Oh gosh, yes they did. Oh, now I remember what basically this one was. Yeah, I'm looking at basically the monster. Okay, so the plot of 39 is, I remember now what it is. Yeah, apparently they wanted to ruin Christmas because it's a Christmas episode. Yes, Tokusatsu's got history with doing Christmas episodes, and half the time they tend to be monsters who try to ruin Christmas. And this actually looked up. Apparently, this is the first Christmas theme episode of the Metal Hero series. I'm like, this is interesting. I know Kamen Rider tends to have one. I know Sentai always generally has a Santa Claus in that series. And the Power Rangers got a humongous reputation. But mostly starting from, I think it was Samurai, when they brought the whole thing of having a Santa Claus there like once a season. And it's the same actor playing him every time. And it's like a basically like, it's like watching like a movie for Satanism, this one. Like, they have like a Santa Claus where he's like an upside down cross. Like, what the heck is this? And this thing was approved for children back in 1984 to watch? Yeesh. I'm sure this was a very forgettable episode for a lot of people. Oh gosh. Like, Wow. And it's all about brainwashing kids, and I'll talk about that in the movie, but still, feels like a standard filler, but I do appreciate it. The only thing noteworthy about 39 is just first Christmas episode of Metal Heroes history. Now on to the movie itself, taking place right after 39 and before 40. This one, I can definitely feel this watching the visuals of this one. It felt as though Toei basically put a lot more money into this movie than the last movie, which good for that. And what we know of that, aside from visuals, the fact that Snyder's real suit, not the cheap suit half the time, basically you see wearing a lot of the episodes, the actual metal suit that he wears in close-up shots, you actually see him wearing it the whole movie. I'm like, okay, so you have the shiny suit in Gavin and Shriven, but it's not shiny in Shaider for some reason, probably because of the cheap effects. I don't know, maybe because they cut the pipe. I have no idea what's going with that. So, the plot of this movie, it starts out with Shaider basically following this car and suspect having kidnapped children in it. And he gets close to it and like, oh crap, the children weren't even there, and the car explodes. Car bomb, standard tokusatsu. Like in the case of modern ones, they don't usually use this very much, the whole thing of the car bombs. Maybe because basically it's too realistic. Back in the 80s, this is perfectly fine. You don't usually find this now at that point, but nowadays, yeah, this can happen. A car bomb. So, they eventually found out 5 of the supporting characters of the series, the one pair occasionally. Yeah, they got kidnapped, along with about 45 other children across this movie. And at one point, Shaider decides to come with the ingenious idea to fake his own death. In order for Anna to find out exactly where the children were held, and he finds it look like the underground of the place. Like I was looking at the place, like, man, this place looks very familiar. I'm like, excuse me, did the people who make Masked Man, which came out not even 3 years later, I think they must use the same location for this one because it looks like the same exact place they used for the underground tunnels in that one. And it also kind of reminds me of one of the underground areas they used in Kamen Rider Black. Yes, it reminds me so much of that. So, eventually Anna finds about some of the children and then eventually rescues 30 of... Now, the Shaider rescued 5 of the children when they go to where some of the children you suspect were children held. And this is where they said fake his death, but he managed to rescue 5 of them, like 45 to go. And then Annie finds 30 of them, and they get transferred to a truck, and they keep trying to control the truck. And Shaider basically uses his drill to break into the base and finds the 15 million children being brainwashed. He had these medallions with the leader of the Fuma, and moves off several of them and tells the children who remove from, like, hey, can you remove all these pendants from all these other children while I'll handle the bad guys? They're like, sure, no problem. And they do, and then eventually Annie comes in and gets them away. She also drops her blaster, which that is a recurring thing in the series. That they love depicting her dropping her video beam that she's got. Yeah, and I'm like, despite like many times she's dropped it when she's been shot out of her hand, did she ever go back and pick the damn thing up or something? I don't know. At one point in the movie, they think they found a base, but nope, it was an abandoned base. The thing exploded. Yep. But this movie was actually pretty good. Oh yeah, by the way, the plan for this one, the reason we kidnapped children, because I wanted to do Fuma research, like education, to educate these people in the Fuma ways, and then send them to other planets because their plan is to take over the galaxy. I'm like, okay, interesting. I would say of the 3 things I watched, this is probably the best thing. The movie is the best thing about. Because 20 was a 30 was a standard filler. 39 was okay. Excuse me, okay standalone episode, and then the movie was really good. Yep, and it's the last one for this particular series for Metal Heroes. But from what I've read, apparently all the rest of them do have their own movies. You can at least praise Shriven for Shaider for this. It's the first Metal Hero series to have a movie come out while the show was on the air. Because the first one, Gavin, never had a movie until the 2010s. Yep, not until 2010s is basically when they finally had one. So, yeah, that's pretty much a particular view. So please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel with notifications turned on. And please do not hit that dislike button. So next up is the comic corner, and then it's on to some anime because I want to make sure I get that done tonight because I have two. And then here's the thing: tomorrow, because there's no One Piece anime airing tomorrow, but there is a One Piece manga release yet. So only one anime tomorrow, and that's Banished from the Hair Party. Yep. So let's do this comic corner and basically go on to what's the first anime gonna be? Tales of the Wedding Rings. Yep. Next video.